Have you ever stopped and just wondered how something incredibly complex, something you probably use every single day, is made almost perfectly every single time? It's really not magic. It's a system, a powerful way of thinking that has quietly but completely shaped our modern world. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover that secret blueprint.
I mean, seriously, just think about a modern car for a second. We're talking about over 30,000 individual parts, and yet huge companies like Tata Motors or Maruti Suzuki, they turn them out with this just mind-boggling precision, minute after minute, day after day. So how do they do it? The answer isn't some secret formula. It's a revolutionary system of ideas and tools, and we're going to break it all down.
So where does it all start? Well, it begins with a really fundamental shift in mindset. This entire quest for perfection, it really boils down to one single core idea, a relentless, almost obsessive focus on eliminating waste in every single form you can imagine. And this isn't just about saving money. It's a whole new philosophy for how to run things. And that philosophy, it has a name: lean manufacturing. It actually grew out of the Toyota production system, and its goal is just beautifully simple: deliver the absolute maximum value to the customer while using the minimum possible resources. It's all about being effective, not just being busy. So what exactly counts as waste?
Well, to make this easy to remember, lean thinkers came up with this clever acronym, TIMWOODS. As you can see, it covers the really obvious stuff, like product defects, right? But it also includes much more subtle things. Things like the wasted motion of a worker just reaching for a tool, or even the untapped skills of an employee whose ideas are never heard. The goal is to systematically hunt down and eliminate every single one of these.
So how do you actually get rid of all this waste? Well, a huge part of the lean philosophy is Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. Now, this isn't about massive, risky, disruptive changes. No. Kaizen is all about making small, incremental improvements every single day and getting every single employee involved. It's like a slow, steady, but incredibly powerful march towards perfection.
All right, let's leave the philosophy behind for a minute and head down to the factory floor to see how this all translates into action. We're talking about simple, often visual tools that have an absolutely massive impact on quality and efficiency.
You see, to build a quality product, you first need a clean, organized workspace. And a foundational tool for this is called 5S. The idea is so simple, but it's revolutionary. Create an environment that's so organized and clean that problems and inefficiencies literally have nowhere to hide.
And it has 5 simple steps. First, you sort out all the clutter. Get rid of anything you don't need. Then, you set everything in a logical order to cut down on wasted motion. You shine the workspace, which is actually a clever way to spot leaks or other defects early on. Then, you standardize these practices so everyone does it the exact same way. And finally, you sustain the whole system. This simple discipline helped companies like Bajaj Auto cut their assembly time by 15%.
Okay, next up is a tool called Kanban. This one tackles one of the biggest wastes of all, having too much inventory sitting around. So instead of a manager pushing work onto the assembly line based on some forecast, Kanban creates a pull system. Production only happens when it's signaled by the very next step in the process.
Let me show you how simple this can be. Imagine you've got 2 bins of bolts. When the first bin is empty, a little card, that's the Kanban, signals the supplier to refill it. By the time the second bin starts getting low, the first one is full again. That, right there, is just-in-time manufacturing. And it's exactly how Maruti Suzuki managed to cut their inventory costs by up to 30%. Pretty smart, right?
Now, these tools on the shop floor are incredibly powerful, but to achieve near perfection on a massive global scale, companies need something more. They need a rigorous, data-driven science of quality.
And this brings us to a methodology called Six Sigma, and a goal that honestly sounds almost impossible. This number right here, 3.4, that represents the target number of defects for every 1 million chances to have one. It's a statistical measure of being practically perfect.
So, how do you get there? Well, Six Sigma uses a 5-step framework called DMAIC. First, you define the problem very clearly. Then you measure your current performance with cold, hard data. You analyze that data to find the true root cause. Then you improve the process, and finally, you control it to make sure you keep those gains. It's a rigorous scientific method, no guesswork allowed. Tata Steel used this exact process to optimize its blast furnaces, and it saved them over 500 crore rupees.
So, we've got the philosophy, we've got the tools, and we've got the science.
But how on earth do you get thousands of employees and hundreds of suppliers all on the same page, all working the same way? The answer lies in standardization and integration.
This is where international standards like ISO 9001 come into play. Really, you can just think of it as a global agreement on what a good quality management system looks like. It's a playbook that helps companies build processes that are repeatable and reliable. It gives customers confidence that they're going to get consistent quality every single time.
And the digital glue that holds all of this together in the modern era is software, specifically something called Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP systems. An ERP is basically the digital nervous system of a company. It connects everything, finance, manufacturing, sales, supply chain, into one single unified database, giving everyone a real-time view of the entire operation.
And the results are just wow. With an ERP, a company gets total visibility, which allows for much better, faster decisions. You see amazing examples like Tata Motors saving over 1,600 labor hours a month, or Maruti Suzuki slashing inventory by up to 30%. It's the ERP that makes a system like Just-in-Time truly possible on a massive scale.
Okay, I know this all sounds very industrial, factories, parts, software. But what's truly fascinating is that these same exact principles for creating perfect products have been adapted to create perfect services too. Let's see how all of this connects back to you, the customer.
It's true. The same kind of thinking that eliminates defects in a car engine can be used to eliminate waiting times in a hospital, or errors in a bank transaction, or even inconsistencies in a hotel stay. This pursuit of quality, it's absolutely universal.
And to measure service quality, researchers developed a framework called RATER. It breaks down the entire customer experience into 5 key dimensions. Reliability, did you actually do what you promised? Assurance, do I trust you and feel confident in your abilities? Tangibles, does your office, your website, your staff look professional? Empathy, do you seem like you genuinely care about me? And finally, responsiveness, are you ready and willing to help me quickly?
And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important point. This whole blueprint for perfection, it isn't just for giant corporations. The core ideas of eliminating waste, making continuous improvements, and always focusing on value, these can be applied by anyone, anywhere. So the real question is, after seeing all this, where can you start?